What's going on? We back with the Boxing Clinic. More, it's your boy CJ Goodfella, and I just seen a interview by Pep Talk UK. I'm gonna link this interview in the description, and he's in the car exclusively with Anthony Joshua. Y'all know what it is. We back with the Boxing Clinic and more. We had a live stream on this earlier. Go back and check the archives. Only 2 videos away. We gearing up for the Lomachenko and Linares weigh-in, and we're gonna speak on that later on. But right now, we talk about this interview with Anthony Joshua where he says some kind of contradicting things, but it seemed like he didn't want to let the cat out the bag. He says that he's pretty much sure this fight is gonna happen. You know, he says he's sure this fight is gonna happen. He says, we're in the process of exchanging offers and going through the final detail, where it be broadcasters who will promote. I'm training from now for that fight. That's the fight I want, and it's here now. So he sounded a little bit different from Eddie Hearn and what Eddie and Barry Hearn has been putting out there. The reason I'm consistently, continue to talk about this fight is because I want to basically build a foot trail, or whatever you want to call it, a trail of each video. You see the contradictions in the lying, or the truth in the facts, or a mixture of exaggerations, wherever it may be, through my videos. I want you to be able to kind of follow the footnotes and leading up into how this fight happened, it articulates, or how it falls apart. So, but, like I said, finer details. He's still talking about finances. Other than that quote, he talking about finances and how much you will make and that. That's just not smaller details. He's talking about also who had a first press conference, UK, LA, New York, or he's talking about finances as well. Like, those are seeming to be tough sticking points that's had held up this fight from even being announced. And he does say he's training for the fight, as I spoke, and he says that the fight has to happen this year. He said he's not interested in fighting Alexander Povetkin, at least not right now. He says this is the big one, and that's why he's training right now for the Deontay Wilder fight. But his promoters and handlers don't seem that sure about the situation from what we've been talking about in the articles and what Barry and Eddie have been saying. As far as Eddie said yesterday, Anthony Joshua is saying in this interview, which I'm pretty sure has been shot of recent, he's saying that, the venue is still up in the air. But Eddie Hearn just said yesterday that it had to go down in the UK. Anthony Joshua wanted to go down in the UK. It couldn't go down no other way but the UK. And Joshua said it's still up in the air. So basically, they still in the back and forth negotiations. It sounds like they the same place they was before Wilder sought to send a $50 million offer. Eddie just said yesterday, we gonna take less money for the fight to be in the UK. Who takes less money? Who takes $5 to $10 million less and want to ask the guy who's offering you the most money to take a 50% pay cut? But this is a new interview. Like I said, I'm gonna link it in the description. And what I read into this interview, and this is the reason why I have a boxing channel, to really break it down and try to, get the real truth out of it, is that this fight is still further from being made than it was 4 or 5 weeks ago. Everything he detailed, he trying to say, it's basically done. No, it's not basically done. If you still talking about finances, which is money, if you still talking about the venue, if you got past those 2 hurdles, I would believe him. I believe, yeah, this close to being done. They agreed on the venue. They agreed on finances. Now it's just the little minor things as far as where the press conference started out, like he said. Who walks out first? What gloves you going? How big the ring gonna be? Those are minor details. When you talk about money, and what venue and where it's gonna be at, those are major details in this fight. In this negotiation, he making it sound good. He's saying one thing, but his promoters and his handlers are saying another thing. So Eddie Hearn and Joshua ain't on the same accord. They not on the same, they not on the same rhythm. They not on the same beat. If you negotiation, y'all still talking about the venue, I mean, if you're not gonna fight nowhere but the UK, that's a sticking point right there. Either Deontay, you gonna fight in the UK, or you're not gonna fight in the UK. You gonna take this $12.5 million we got, or you're not gonna take it. That's not a negotiation. When you stand firm, as far as what Eddie Hearn said yesterday, we don't want the $50 million. Your money's no good with us. We want you to come to the UK for half of what you asked and come over here. We want you to come here for $12.5. You know, and Anthony Joshua gonna make a little bit less, but what he makes, a little bit less he make off the $50 million guaranteed, is not even equaling the 50% of revenue that can be up to 10. Let's just say it was $10 million. So he's gonna take a $20 million cut. You feel me? To an estimated $20 million cut just to fight at the UK, and Deontay Wilder got to take a 50% cut. You know, just to come over and fight you. It don't add up. Well, the first fight got to be in the UK. I mean, at the end of the day, these UK morons is just getting on my nerves. If this was it's not a purse bid. It was a purse bid. Wilder would have won this. He would have trumped this already. You know, what is the issue for the fight being in the U.S.? Well, the atmosphere, I heard somebody say in the comment section on Twitter, the atmosphere would be boring. Y'all atmosphere is boring. Y'all, I mean, you got a whole bunch of guys in there in suit and ties drinking liquor, and it's a social event. It's not a boxing event over there. And I heard this straight from a UK person that got a channel in the fans' mouth. Most people in them Joshua fights ain't there to watch boxing. It's a social event. You know, you go to Vegas, you got the high rollers. You don't got nobody in them cheap-ass suits they got on. You got high rollers in Armani suits with real rollies on that got millions and millions of dollars. Who pulling up in Bugattis, you know? That's from you got people that's from the UK, people that's from the United Arab Emirates. You got people that's from Vegas, from Cali. You got real high rollers there. And y'all nosebleed seats probably $5 or $6, $10, $20, $30, $40, $30 probably. You go to nosebleed in Vegas, I mean nosebleeds can start off at a rack. Ringside seats, 100 racks. You know, like I said, if these venues in the UK were so great and so appealing, and the UK fans were just this energy that you never felt anywhere else, why no American fighters want to go over there and fight for real? Why does any American fighters that did fight over there never want to go back? And why do a lot of UK fighters dream of fighting in Vegas? Lennox Lewis, Carl Froch. So, like I said, at the end of the day, you know, y'all want to make excuses. Just go ahead and be real and be true to yourself and say, well, we don't want to see Joshua come to America and get knocked out like the rest of our UK fighters that came over here and got knocked out. Lennox Lewis, Ricky Hatton, you know, Amir Khan. We don't want to see that. We want him just to be our undisputed Commonwealth British champion, man. But check the interview out in the description. Y'all know what it is. TBC and more.